Hey guys, Elic119 here, bringing you a new champion reveal, Zac, the Secret Weapon. Now Zac stands for Zon, Amorphous Combatant, as far as I'm concerned. Pretty much a new lore whole setup that Riot's going through right now. It's kind of interesting, but in this video I'm pretty much going to be showing you as much as I can about Zac. Be showing his abilities, what he looks like, his presence, pros and cons so far. Quick note, he is a lot of fun to play. This is my first game with him though, so if you see me doing something wrong, I'm sorry. I'm just starting out, so make some mistakes too. Also, bad early game here, so just kind of ignore that. It gets better towards the end. I do get a pretty nice score. If you'll notice, this is a bot game. The chances of getting a PvP game right now, right after a new champion release, is pretty slim. By the time you load into the game, chances are a new champion's already picked and locked in, and you can't exactly dodge Q because there's probably about an hour wait time. Now, Zac is pretty unique. I like the way that he looks. A lot of people don't. They don't like that they made him more of a human-looking guy instead of an actual blob. But I think he looks pretty cool. His taunt's pretty funny. You saw it a second ago. His dance pretty good too. What I like most about him probably is his passive. I'm going to go over his abilities throughout the video, but his passive, basically what that does, whenever you land an ability on an enemy champion, little blobs of him will fall off, as you probably see here. Picking up those blobs will heal him for 4% of his max health, which is pretty good, because as far as I'm concerned, Zac is the first, or one of the first champions that instead of mana, his moves cost health, but it's not just flat health, it's percent health, making it kind of difficult, probably late game. You can't exactly just build Warmogs and spam your moves. You actually have to build Spell Vamp, which is a key item on Zac. Taking a look at his Q, basically what that does is it slows the enemy in a short distance in front of him. It also does a pretty good amount of damage. The scaling for that is about a 0.5 AP ratio. It's pretty good poke early game. I take it first in this game. A lot of people are probably going to complain and say that I should have taken my W because that does damage based on the enemy's max health. But I think it's a pretty good poke early game, especially considering the slow scales pretty well too. His W, basically what that does is in a ring around him, you'll see it basically, he spins around, blob pops off of him so he can heal himself. Costs 4% of his max health, and it deals pretty good amount of damage plus a percentage of their max health, ranging from 4 to 6%. The AP ratio on that is you get 1% more damage per 50 ability power. So late game, tanks, you can probably take them down pretty quickly, especially considering the cooldown is about 4 seconds. His Q, I believe, is 7 or 8 whenever you use it, and it goes down pretty quickly. Yeah, it's about 8. And his E, basically what that is, it's a gap closer, it's a stun, and it's a slight knockback. You'll see me use it every now and then. The problem with using that really is it takes 12% of your max health to use it, so you only want to use that if he's really, really low. And lastly, his ultimate, you're going to see it later in the game. Basically what his ultimate does is it allows him to kind of jump up into a little ball. He can bounce up to 4 times. Deals 160 at level 1, 240 at level 2, and 360 at level 3, plus 0.25 AP ratio per bounce. Don't know if can't remember if I mentioned it, but he gets 4 bounces. The enemies that he collides with, it slows them and knocks them up, only once though. But if you follow an enemy with it, it's pretty good. Picks up movement speed also, the more that you bounce. It's a good getaway, also if you combine it with flash. Quick note, you can use your other moves while you are using his ultimate, so it's pretty handy if you want to burst them down real quick. You can use your E to jump on them, your Q immediately following your W, and then your ultimate, and you can burst them down pretty quickly, but you will need to go back and regain some of those blobs that you dropped, or else you're going to end up low health. One of the more interesting things that makes Zac more fun, the fact that he does scale off max health, but he can regain it by gaining his blobs. It takes a good amount of judgment to determine whether or not you need to keep chasing or you need to pick up the blobs to maintain your health. Cool aspect, I don't know if you guys have noticed yet, but the lower health that Zac is at, his character model actually scales down depending on his health. So if you're at full health, you look pretty big, kind of scary. You look kind of small if you're low health, vice versa. It's a lot of fun though. One thing that I actually forgot to mention is part of Zach's passive. Whenever he dies, basically he splits into 4 little blobs in different directions. They have 10% of his max health and 50% of his armor and magic resistance, and they'll start crawling towards a little puddle in the center. And basically what happens is whenever they get to the center, depending on how much health they have or if all of them make it, Zach will revive. He'll get between 10 to 50% of his max health just regained, depending on how much health the blobs had. It's pretty helpful if you get ignited. It works too. So if someone decides to ignite you, you get away, your blobs can come back and you won't die. It's going to be a little bit annoying if you're facing a Zach, but if you are Zach, it's pretty good. People turret dive you, it's pretty nice because they'll have to stay in turret and attack your 4 little blobs. In this video, I play Zach as a top lane AP. I go a little bit tanky, but not completely tanky. I feel like he's going to be mostly used jungler because all of his moves are area of effect. He does have health regeneration. It scales off of his health instead of mana, so you'll probably want to start blue still to get the cooldown reduction, but some people are probably still going to start red for the early gank. He's got a gap closer and a slow. Pretty good ganking possibilities. Level 6 he gets a knockup and this movement speed buff from that ultimate. It's going to be pretty helpful. Some people might try and play him mid. I personally do not see him being a viable mid character. Considering his early game, he's a little bit hard since he loses health every time he uses a move. He doesn't have the most range and he's melee. So mid, it's probably not preferable. Top is going to be seen by a lot of people until they're able to jungle better with him. But I guess we'll see how it goes. I might not even be playing him right in this video, so can't really say anything about that. But one thing is in team fights, he does have quite a bit of presence. One-on-one, he's not the best. He can do pretty well if you ultimate, but then, well, you don't have an ultimate later. You'll see right here pretty much. But basically in team fights, since all of his moves are area of effect, you can get a group slow, a group max percent health drain. You can get the group lunge and little knockback from his E, and his ultimate will knock them all up it'll knock them all up and bounce on them up to 4 times. Taking a look at Zach's core items, 100% necessary on Zach, first item every single game. You're going to want Spell Vamp because he scales off of max health. You cannot just buy Warmogs or something and spam your abilities. You're going to have to get some Spell Vamp to have some sustain, or else you're going to be killing yourself out there. Following Spell Vamp, if you want to go tanky, I guess you can. He has a Q, which has a slow, his E has a little knockback, and his R has a knock up and a slow. So if you just want to use those moves for pretty much just team fights and a little bit of CC in those fights and just go straight up tank, that would be viable. His W would have natural damage because it is also percent health up to 6% without any ability power. But for the sake of this video, I wanted to show exactly what Zach could do. So I go ahead and grab a Rabadon's. Following up Rabadon's, you can get a little bit of tankiness after there. I get an Abyssal Scepter. You can follow up with Ryalize. The health is always nice. It makes you pick up more from the blobs if you want to look at it that way. If you wanted to really annoy the other team, what you probably could do is get a Guardian Angel, so that whenever they kill you with your Guardian Angel, you revive, and then they'll try and kill you again, and then you still have your passive. It's almost like a Nivea. Get a Guardian Angel on a Nivea. It's essentially the same thing, except instead of an egg, you have these little blobs. After that, pretty much items, you're just going to want to focus AP if you're going for damage. Talking about, I guess, a tank build for him, what you'd probably want to start out with is Abyssal Scepter, so you can get a little bit of damage, and after that, you definitely would want a Runic Bulwark or a Warmogs for that health regeneration, but keep in mind you still need the Spell Vamp. Looking at a couple pros and cons of Zach, probably biggest pros, he's a lot of fun to play, he's unique. I mean, just look at that, a lot of people are going to want to play Zach. He's already all over the place, and he just came out a day ago. But, yeah, he's got a gap closer, he's got a good amount of CC, he's got getaways everywhere. His E and his ultimate are a pretty good getaway. His passive is a little bit overpowered, I think, especially considering you can regain all the health that you spend on your moves, pretty much giving you endless mana, quote-unquote. But also the revive part of that is a little overpowered. Ignites will not work on your early game, making laning, defensive laning I should say, a little bit easier and more beneficial to you. However, some of the cons that he has, so far, from at least what I can tell, he has a high learning curve. I'm normally good at picking up new champs and playing them for videos, but he's a little bit more challenging than most champs. Another con, the percent health requires a lot of judgment when you're spamming abilities. You don't want to go out there, spam abilities, find yourself low health before you even got attacked. You also have to know when to ignore or grab the blobs for health. It's going to take a little bit of time getting used to that. It's kind of it's almost like little Thresh's souls. Can't always go grab the souls because they could be dangerous. Kind of like that, maybe not the same, but yeah. Another con, he's probably going to get focused like no other, considering his new champion. New champions always get focused insanely, but I guess we'll find out when he's released. Possible changes that might be made, since he is in the PvE or the beta stage, this could completely change actually. Well, the moves probably won't change, but it could change the damage, the slows, a little bit of the CC, all that kind of stuff. Changes that I can see coming, they might make his E have a little bit lower cooldown and a little bit less percent health, considering it takes 12%, which is quite a good amount. But to counteract that, they're probably going to make his Q a little bit longer cooldown, do a little bit less damage, considering it actually does, I think, 270 damage at level 5 plus the AP. It's pretty damaging. His ultimate, what they might do on that is take the slow off. It's pretty good with the knockup. They're not going to take that off, I don't think. He needs to have a little bit more presence. His passive, they could make the blobs last longer. I don't know if you've noticed. The blobs go away before you can even get to some of them. It's a little bit annoying. Also, second part of his passive, they might make the blobs move faster, slower. Not sure, can't tell. I think it's pretty good where it's at, but these are changes that I can definitely see coming. They might make his base health a little bit higher, considering he's supposed to be a jungler and more of a tanky jungler. But on top of that, yeah, I think he's pretty balanced already, even though he was just released on the beta. Haven't seen too much problem with him yet. But I guess we'll have something to look forward to, see if this is how he ends up. Alright guys, at this point in the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it back to normal time and take off the voiceovers and just play the game sound so you can hear what Zach sounds like. You can see exactly what I'm doing here with all the moves and all that kind of stuff. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Leave any suggestions or any questions, anything like that in the comments. I'll get back to you as quick as I can. And enjoy the rest of the video.
Destroyed a turret. Legendary. Executed. Killing spree. Shut down. Unstoppable. An enemy has been slain.
Has destroyed